Good evening, and today is King 9 of Clubs. So we have Under the Gun limps. It's a full table, but we are only five-handed right now, which could it make a difference. Right now, this villain's playing 92% of hands. He's really not raising a whole lot. So I think at this point he's probably could have any two cards. Uh, let's do something like this. I'm gonna assume he would raise like queens plus ace king. Uh, I mean, I do have him raising 4%, uh, 1 out of 26 hands. So there's possibility that he would probably raise queens plus. The hands when he raised was pre-flop raise. He wasn't even raising first in, so maybe he's not going to raise those. Maybe it's just kings plus. Maybe he just doesn't even raise. So at this point, we're at you can see that we are clearly at 88.8%, and we can probably just do everything. I mean, such a wide range here um, that it's going to be kind of hard to play against. So I do think we're going to be playing stronger range here. We could probably drop off some of these low ace offsuits and go more like Broadway type hands. That's a possibility. But we also have to contend with these two players. They're both playing somewhat loose, 37%, 30% for this player. Calling two bets is 36% for this player. I do think we want to try to get heads up with the raise, so I don't think we want to do like a three big bet raise. I think four is a minimum, and that may actually be a little too small. I think if he's going to be calling, and we can check out limp and call to raise is at 50%. I think we could probably go ahead and raise to 5 and apply pressure. He'll fold hands. He'll fold. I bet a lot of these weaker hands here, but he still has other weak hands that he would call with. So I raised the 4. I think going to 5 is a little bit better. Villain 3 calls. And villain 3 calls 2 bets from small blind 33% of the time. He's probably not going to be overly loose, but note that he is not 3-bet. So I think if he had suspected that I was playing, just trying to isolate against this guy, I think I exposed myself to getting 3-bet, and then I'd probably have to fold some of those hands. What kind of hands is he going to play? We're going to set him up with something that's not terribly loose. 25.8% is probably okay. Maybe he has something, maybe those hands, maybe offsuit aces. I think this kind of gives us an okay range. And then villain 4 folds and villain 1 calls. So I think with the call, we're going to get rid of some of these weaker hands. I think if he can get a straight, he would probably call. Maybe getting rid of those. We'll just say he continues with that range. So that's 60%. He's folding. He had about 90%. He's continuing with 60%, so he's folding 33%. I think with one caller, he's probably encouraged to call a little bit wider. But we'll go with that range. So I've got my standard button raising range, 31.2%. And 414 combos. Board comes out 8 of spades, ace of spades, 3 of spades, 2 of clubs. You can see that I am going to have the edge right now. Both players check. This guy donks flop, 66% of the time. I actually think that if this guy had an ace, had a weaker ace, he would be betting here. So I'm going to exclude these weaker aces. I think ace 10 might be the cutoff, ace 9. So I'm going to say he definitely does not have those. And then he could possibly have everything else. Maybe he would also donk these pocket pairs to see if I hit. Maybe not fours and fives, but kings, queens, jacks, maybe. Leading to see if someone calls and he can slow down. So I would say maybe checking with that range. All right. And then villain 1 check. So it's on us. What do we do? It's, 2 villains. Fold to c-bets 50% for this guy, but a few hands. Fold to c-bets 100%. I got more hands here, and this is basically 2 out of 2. He has folded 2 out of 4, 3 out of 6. So, question is, if they're folding, let's say 50% of the time, if I bet, what percentage of the time do they both fold? Well, they're both going to fold 25%. So what do we do? What's going to be our bet here? I do think we're going to be betting top pair. Probably not all of our top pair. I think ace king, ace queen has value to check in certain spots. I think if this was a rainbow board, I think I'm more inclined to check ace king, ace queen, and encourage these lower aces to bet the turn, and then when they check to me, they're gonna bet one more time. Whereas if I bet now with ace king, ace queen, they're gonna probably call, but that's about it. I don't think they're gonna call a turn. I don't think they're gonna call a river bet at all. On this board, though, we have 2 spades. And it's coordinated on the low end. And when we look at the hands, I think there are hands that villain's going to call. So I think I'm going to be betting all top pair for value, 2 pair for value. I think sets for value, straights for value. I don't think, again, if we were heads up, it's a little bit different. But against 2 players, I think we're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to be betting pocket pair below the top card too. These are going to be partially we're going to have some kind of bluff bets. So 4s and 5s are going to be somewhat of our bluffs. These middle ones are going to be for bluffs, and also with 10s. I think jacks, queens, and kings are going to be betting for some value because the weaker pocket pairs are able to call. Middle pair, king 3, I don't think we're going to be betting any of those. We're going to be betting flush draws for value. I think we're going to be betting our gut shots, 2 card gut shots, so 6-5. I also think we're going to be betting these 1 card gut shots for value. Flush and draws, definitely. Flush and gut shots, definitely. Gut shots in a pair, definitely. We're betting those. So I think we're looking at 68.5% is what we're betting. We're going to be heavier on value, which I think is okay because, again, I think when players are going to be calling, they're going to be calling with a little bit better hands. So I think that's going to be my betting range. I bet half pot. I think that bet size is good. Villain 3 folds. So I think this was his player. So now it's on him. So what we're going to do is go back, since it's this villain that we're up against. I think this was his flop range. We're dealing with 60.8%. He has 806 combos. And then we have ace of spades, 3 of spades, 2 of clubs. Let's get that out. So my equity is 63%. And his equity is 37%. And now I've got my flop betting range here. So I'm going to bet this. Percent of previous range is 68.5%. I have 239 combos. What is villain going to call? I do think he's probably going to call with how loose he is. He's probably going to call with any pair. It's probably going to be calling with these gut shot draws and probably with all of those. So 53.8%, which I think is right in line with his 50% range. So he's calling with that. That means he has 391 combos. I still have the equity edge. He does call, and then the 9 of heart comes out. And I think that's kind of a neutral card. And it's somewhat of a neutral card for both of us. So I think if I'm ahead, I think I'm still going to be ahead. If he's ahead, I think he's still going to be ahead. So question then becomes is what do we do when we have our good hands? Can we get another street of value from it? What, if we can, what hands are going to be calling versus what hands are going to be folding? So villain 1 checks. I think he's going to probably check everything. And now it's on us. So let's take a look at villain. In villain's range, he has, let's say, top pair plus 39% of the time. I do think if I bet, he's still going to be calling top pair plus. If we add pocket pair below top pair, the rest of these middle pairs, you're looking at a huge percentage here. Is he going to call those weak pairs? And I don't know. I think if we bet, so on this board, about 13 big blinds would be a half size bet. I think we could bet, if we bet 18 to 20, I think we're going to get him to fold those cards. I don't think he's going to be folding any of these draws. Gut shots, maybe. I don't know. He may find a fold. Definitely not. I think flush draw is going to be calling. So we're looking like just right now out of that, it's 62% is what he's calling with. He's folding, 38%. So I think we still bet top pair plus. And I think we bet top pair plus planning to check behind. Especially with our weaker aces. So ace 4, ace 5, ace 6. Because if he calls a turn, he's probably going to call the river and we can check it down. I think if we have ace 4, ace 5, ace 6 and we bet, I'm sorry, it's here. If we check behind, then when he bets, I think he's going to be betting all of his aces. And I don't think, I think our hand's going to be too good to try to, call. Yet at the same time, I think he's going to probably beat us most of the times that we call. So I think betting top pair is appropriate. I think betting the flush draw is appropriate. I don't think I'm going to be betting the gut shots. I mean, we could. It makes us 82%, but it's, I guess that hand, it doesn't really improve his equity as much. So, and I don't think it really improves our equity much either. Yet, perhaps it increases some fold equity if we think he's going to be calling with backdoor club draws. I think doing all of these are going to be a little bit too wide. Maybe, the 5-6. But I think the one card gut shots, ace 5, ace 4, 5s and 4s, I think those are going to be okay. So 80% maybe. I bet with those. What do I do? I did bet. I bet half pot. I think I need to go bigger. I think I need to go bigger here. And he calls. So I do think we need to go bigger. I think it's going to give him a chance to call with the gut shots. Maybe even these 2-card gut shots. Definitely 1-card gut shots. I think with the size, we're going to say pocket pair below the second card. I don't think we're going to call those, but the middle pairs, pocket pair below top pair, we're going to call those. So 80. So the gut shots, I think that's why we needed to go bigger, is to try to get those gut shots out. So he's continuing 79.5, and he has 306 hands. The river card is 10 of clubs. That does not help us, but our equities, we probably still have equity advantage here. 65% versus 65.8 versus 34.2. So he checks, and I think since we bet all the way, I don't think he's going to try to bet and hope that we get called. So like straights and sets, I don't think he needs to lead here. I think he can be fine to check, and it's on us. And at this point, we have to think about, if we bet, what's he going to call with? I still think he's going to probably call with middle pair plus. I think he's going to give up with everything else. We beat middle pair plus. It's 61% is what he's going to be betting or calling with. Does he call with all of the aces? Probably not. So I think here what we're going to be looking at doing is probably, I think, checking with top pair, but I think 2 pair plus is what we're going to be betting here. So if I bet and he calls, we're going to probably be ahead. I don't want to bet 2 pair. I'm sorry, top pair here, because I think all of his aces that he has, I should say, I think ace queen, ace jack probably can bet, maybe even ace 10. But I think these lower aces are probably a little bit better. Those are probably what we should bet. And then I think we're going to be checking middle pair, pocket pair, everything else. We could try to mount a bluff, and we probably should have some bluffing range. But again, on this board, this didn't really change anything. If we're ahead with the pair and the flush missed, we should still be ahead. So what happens? We check. Maybe we bet with middle pair. Yeah, I think pocket pair below top card. I think middle pair. I think we're right. I think we bet with ace queen, ace jack. We check everything else. And then if we're looking for bluff range, then I think we kind of look at something like well, what else do we have? Got a bunch of spades. I don't think we want to bet spades. There it is, weak pair. We want those. We don't want the spades, we want 5s and 4s. That's what we're going to be betting as our bluff. Let's get those for value. Because I think with the top pair, if we get called, most likely hands that calls will be those aces, occasionally those 9s. And then 4 and 5 we block, but we don't block the spades that he can actually have. So that's kind of, I don't want to bluff with 2 spades, because that reduces the chance that he actually has the spades. Whereas if I don't have any spades, now it increases the likelihood that he has it. So what do? I did check. So let's see what they have. He shows jacks. Is jacks in his range? It is. So, well, we checked, so he didn't have it, but jacks is definitely in his range. So we had that, and then I had king 9. That I think could have been. We did have some equity. If we bet, he's going to fold out all of the spades. So we had some showdown equity. And yeah, I kind of think I'm okay with this. I'm okay with checking this hand. Now I don't think I have it. Didn't have it. So I had backdoor. So the 2-card backdoor flush made it more 50-50. And if I have those, then now I have the middle pair. And yeah, I'm going to say I agree with checking that again. Two-card backdoor flush draw. King 9. 9 of hearts. Yep. So we would. I didn't have that as a bet though. So I kind of think maybe the turn I should have checked it. And then probably check behind on the river. Alright. So just. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, I think that's all we're going to be doing with this hand. If you like this hand, look tomorrow for another one.